in the interest of Braden Hyatt. We are here today on a review hearing. We're conducting this through Zoom under a finding of good cause and agreement of the parties. We'll go ahead and get an update. Mr. Heredia, if you can provide that, that'd be great.
Yes, ma'am. Braden has been doing well. He did have a change of placement in early June. That placement came about from there was concerns with the placement, with the way they were handling things and staffing. So St. Francis did pull both Braden and other children from that placement. The placement had also put in a discharge previously due to psychiatric hospitalization for Braden. But beyond that, Braden has been doing well in his new placement. They have been able to help be very supportive to him with his behaviors and his needs. During the summertime, Braden spent most of the time, being typical kid, out playing and playing on a tablet. They did put in some educational programs on his tablet to help him along and start getting him ready for when he did return to school. He has been in school now for approximately 2 weeks. He has been doing well. There haven't been any issues or anything. Again, the overall with Braden is just his behaviors and his outbursts, which have not been seen for nearly 2 months now, which I feel is a very good step in the right direction for him. He is learning to manage himself better. When he does have a problem with something, he acknowledges it afterwards, and he is able to express himself much better now. So he's continuing to progress in his placement where he's at.
Great. Okay, and what about parents' progress?
As far as parents' progress, as has been noted, his mother, Jessica Bray, she was incarcerated. Prior to that, she had only done 3 of her parenting classes. She had not signed her release form to get her documentation from her therapist and counselor. I have reached out to them and they don't have any record of it. And since I have not been able to contact her or reach her, I have not been able to get a signature on that. She was incarcerated, or she was arrested initially in June. And then she was arrested and incarcerated in July. So I have not had any contact with her. And when I need to make an appointment to go and see her at the Randall County facility where she is incarcerated. As far as Mr. Hyatt goes, Mr. Hyatt did complete his psychosocial. He needs to schedule his counseling for his therapy. He just needs to reach back out to the therapist so he can schedule his counseling and follow those recommendations. And he needs to sign up for an anger management course. The only other thing that Mr. Hyatt has been working, he is self-employed. He does per diem jobs. The way he gets paid is through Venmo, so he has not been able to provide any pay stubs or receipts for that. The concern with Mr. Hyatt is just the condition of the home. He was going to be moving into a home that is in dispute in regards to who owns it, by his father, and that's where he and Braden were hoping to move into, but there was a dispute with that. So currently Mr. Hyatt is living in a travel trailer again, which is not in appropriate condition to house a child.
Juan, you talked about the services that Dad had. I want to go back in those just for a second. Has he completed the parenting class?
No, sir, he has not completed the parenting class. He did start the classes, but he hasn't completed them.
Is he still going to them? I see that he's done 4 weeks of the 13. Is he still actively going, or did he just stop at the 4 weeks?
He stopped going. The issue there was that Miss Bray was also attending those same classes. Okay. And Mr. Hyatt did not want to be in the same vicinity with her. And there was an issue with that. Initially, it was presented to Mr. Hyatt that, just to try and, mull through it and go through the class. He didn't have to interact with her. And the option was given that he could possibly do them online. Mr. Hyatt had expressed that he enjoyed going to the in-person classes and the interactions that he would get and the feedback he would get person to person. So he was preferably wanting to do those courses. When all that happened, I had tried to talk him through it again to try to convince him to go back, which he did not. We can still present it to where he could do an online course to complete that. My hope is to have him finish his requirements, of course, but the bigger thing being just the conditions of the home.
Okay. How long has it been since he went to those classes?
The last time he had gone to those classes was approximately in May.
Okay. Is this going to be a situation where, since Ms. Bray's incarcerated right now, if he started going back, would he be able to pick up where he left off, or would he have to start over those 4 weeks again?
I believe he would. I did have contact with the presenter, and he could go back and start up and pick up where he was. He was doing very well up to that point, and been participating and been doing very well in those classes. Okay. So I can absolutely look into that where he could pick up and continue with his classes.
Okay. And then you said he still needs to do the anger control training?
Yes, sir.
And he is current with his registry. Have you been able to see the home he lives in? I know you said he lived in a travel trailer, but have you been able to
he has not allowed access into it at any time.
Okay. Do you have release of information for Mr. Hyatt?
Yes, I do.
Okay. When you get an appointment to see Ms. Bray, will you be able to take the release of information and see if she'll sign it there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When do you plan on going to see her?
Here within the next couple of weeks, or probably before the 10th of September.
Okay. All right. I'll pass the witness.
Okay, Mr. Michaelson?
Chris tells me that the travel trailer that he lives in is a 30-foot trailer. Is that correct?
Approximately, yes, sir.
Okay. And is the exterior of the trailer appropriate? I mean, is there any in danger areas around the trailer?
The concern on the outside with the trailer would be there's Chris has some dogs, and one of them apparently just had puppies. So there's kind of they're puppies and they're little, but there is excrement along the yard, and there was weeds and stuff at times, and the yard and the area around would need to be cleaned up. Also ensuring that there is running water in the trailer. At one point, I know Chris does have it hooked up with an extension cord to power it up for, I guess, for whatever things he's using inside for light, and possibly either like a hot plate or something like that, whatever he's been preparing his meals on. So that would need to be addressed also. Okay,
but you don't know the interior of the trailer because Chris hasn't provided you access to that. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. And then he had Chris said it's his girlfriend, an unidentified woman. They're living with him also. So I don't know if that has also been a reason why access has not been granted.
Okay. And with respect to anger management, has Chris talked to you about his research on the program?
No, he has not.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm willing to work with him on any of it, and I have the providers that could do that with him to get him that requirement completed.
Mr. Michaelson, I'm gonna interrupt you. Mr. Hyatt, this is a courtroom. Put the cigarette out. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Chris informs me that in contacting the anger management program, he was advised that they don't have an anger management program per se. It's a component of the counseling So Chris is wondering about the relevance of that program. So he hasn't discussed any of that with you?
No, sir. So he was trying to do the anger management with the same provider that did his psychosocial, and they do not provide that service. There is another provider that does do the anger management.
Okay. And have you provided that information to him?
Yes, sir. I had attempted to.
Okay. What do you mean attempted to?
Well, on a visit at Chris, when we were discussing about things with the case, and I had information for him, and Chris became upset, and didn't want to talk anymore, and so it was a matter of just letting him cool off and gather himself. But I did offer that up. I can always email it to him. I'd rather just hand him the information and go over it with him, but I can email it to him and provide it to him.
And were you aware that Chris indicates that he was only advised of 2 of the 3 changes in Braden's placement?
You broke up. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
What?
Were you aware of Chris's concern, frustration that he was only notified of 2 of the 3 changes in placement for Braden?
Okay, so there's only from the initial placement that he had, he's only changed twice.
Okay. Chris was under the impression that he had moved 3 times.
No, he's changed twice. What from between the second and the third one, the lapse on that was because there was what technically is considered a placement in a psychiatric hospital while we were trying to find a new placement, but
Okay.
that was from that last one. That's
Okay.
where that's where that gap, or it seems like there was an extra one when it was just from Braden being in a psychiatric hospital.
Okay. And the other concern is, as Chris indicates, that he hasn't had a visit with his son in 7 months. Does that sound correct?
That is incorrect.
That is incorrect or correct?
That is incorrect.
Okay.
Because visits are set up and scheduled through a provider. We did put in for a new referral because it was only set up for a certain amount of time. So that one was renewed. So they do reach out to Chris and contact him by either email or phone for him to have his visits. I know there had been multiple times where Braden gets off the calls or he abruptly ends the calls, but it has not been 7 months since he has spoken with his son.
Okay. Pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Kincaid.
Thank you, Your Honor. Has Jessica completed her psychosocial?
She reported that she had done it, but again, that's where the release of information comes in. She was allowed to do it through a therapist that she already had rapport with. And when I reached out to that therapist, they didn't have any release of information for her that I need to get in order to obtain those records.
Okay, so if there's any progress that she's made, if you get that release, then you can see that progress.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and was she having visits with her son prior to her incarceration?
She had been.
Okay, thank you. I'll pass witness.
All right. Trout, anything further?
Just a couple of things real quick. One, when was Dad's last visit? Since we're talking about the visits and whether he had one in 7 months, when was his last visit that's documented?
Dad's last visit approximately should have been in middle of June. Mid to late June.
Okay. In mid to late June, he's supposed to have them, are they weekly?
Weekly, yes, sir, on Saturdays.
Okay. Why has he not had one through July and August?
Those notes haven't been provided to me. Usually they'll be sent in from the provider. And that may have been where the gap came in, where I had to put in a referral for a new provider that I just put in recently. But up to that point, I had been receiving some notes from the visits.
Okay. Have you reached out to the provider to see if those visits happened?
Yes, I have, and I have not heard back from them, so I need to follow up on that.
Okay. And when did you say, Braden was moved to his new placement? When did that happen?
That was June 6th.
Okay, so he's been in there for a couple of months now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And we're not aware if Dad's visits have actually happened since then?
From the middle, just from the end of June, no, sir.
Okay. All right. You gonna check on that and make sure those visits are happening?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, anybody else have any questions for Mr. Heredia?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Kincaid, anything else to update? me
No,
about
Your Honor.
today?
I'll reach out to my client. I just didn't realize that she was in a different facility.
Okay. All right, and Mr. Michaelson, then anything else today?
I think Chris would like to address the court, at least to explain some of his frustration, if that's permissible with the court.
All right, Mr. Hyatt, you got any concerns today? Because I've got some, so.
Yes, ma'am. I had reached out to Mr. Herrera and explained to him that it wasn't fair to have me and the same woman that hurt my son in the same building. It had nothing to do with anger. I just didn't want to put up with her, and I didn't want to be around her. So I asked him if we couldn't make a compromise of he go 1 week, I go 1 week, because he is right. I get more out of being inside a classroom than I would have online. I get more out of the interaction because it's not just the teacher, it's also the other parents.
Well,
I
I think we've got that problem resolved. You can
Yes,
start
ma'am,
back. You can start back.
Ma'am, I will start back.
Okay.
As far as the visits go, I have it all documented from when I have been able to talk to my son and see my son, and when I haven't. I finally got my visit yesterday. I finally got to see my son yesterday. So I did
Okay.
get my visit yesterday at 5 o'clock.
Okay, so what I'm gonna ask them to do is to schedule some makeup time so that you can make up some of these that have been missed because of the transition of the provider, whoever was supervising that.
Yes, ma'am. Thank
So
you.
they should have a record of how many visits were missed, and so I'm gonna ask them to make sure that you get makeup visits for that time.
Can you get the makeup visits from when one of the, and this is my personal feelings on it, I got one of my visits canceled because he was getting a dang haircut. And then my other visits have been canceled because he got put in a mental institution because he freaked out. Can those be made up too?
I don't know how many we're talking about.
There's a lot. That's why I said I haven't really talked to my son in so long.
So Mr. Heredia, what's the frequency of the visits right now? Are they weekly?
Yes, Your Honor. The frequency of the visits was initially on Saturdays for an hour.
Right.
Braden would get a visit with Mr. Hyatt for an hour, and then a visit with his mother for an hour. There have been numerous times again where Braden would just abruptly end the calls, and then with the instances of him being hospitalized in the psychiatric ward, there was no visits that took place. We can absolutely make those visit times up. I can even get creative with it to where we can see about cutting out the provider altogether. I'm willing to try and supervise those visits, those calls. It just depends on Mr. Hyatt's availability and his flexibility with his work. And if it's during the week, of course, it would have to be after Braden is out of school, unless we want to go back to, keep it on the weekends. But I feel that with the weekend visits, Braden is more likely to lock into whatever activity he's doing and not going to want to stop for an hour, even if it is to visit with his father, that's just a typical, you know, teenage behavior that, hey, you got to stop everything you're doing to come and spend time with your parents, even if you haven't seen him, you know, to where I mean, there's flexibility. I'm flexible in all of it to ensure that Chris is seeing his son and that these visits are productive for both of them.
Okay, so what, Mr. Hyatt, what I'm gonna do is, I'm just gonna ask, you know, that you and Mr. Heredia are gonna have to talk about your schedule and the child's schedule and when some of these can happen. I don't necessarily want to stop the visits with the current provider. I don't know that we need to do that, but maybe we can then, like I said, we can do some makeups, add some in, maybe at a different time, you know, where,
I can make myself available at any time.
okay, well, then they'll have to schedule those and, you know, I mean, I can't do that here, sitting here today, but they understand that we're gonna do makeup time so that you've got some more time with him. Now, I'm giving you what you're asking for. So it's my turn.
Yes.
Get your property cleaned up. And you've got to start, you got to get your services worked, Mr. Hyatt. You're running out of time. We're going to be back here for your final hearing in November. Now, that may sound like it's a long way away, but it's not. And so get back. I mean, you got counseling to do. There's a lot of things. Braden has got some special needs. He, you know, I mean, he's struggling with school. I mean, I don't know how much progress he's made with reading, but I mean, at a point, I mean, he couldn't read and he's 13 years old. I cannot send a child that's got some of those issues and concerns and needs back in a home where, you know, there's not structure. You know, I mean, he is a kid that's going to need a lot of structure to get him caught up, get him where he needs to be, and to keep him from having, quite frankly, psychiatric meltdowns. I mean, he has got to have stability, like the most stable of stability. So you've got a lot of work to do before November to show us that, I mean, that you are ready to take on Braden's needs and be able to provide for those needs. You know, he's just not going to be a kid that can, you know, automatically self-regulate and just, you know, jump right back into, you know, coming home and there's maybe not a lot of routine. He's just not he's not that boy. So I'm willing to work with you, but you have got to step it up and work with me.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Okay, today then I'm going to continue the department as temporary managing conservator, and I'm going to continue the child's current placement. I would find that there is a continuing danger to return the child home at this time. I'm going to order the makeup visits, and I'll see everybody back then November 4th of 2025. That'll be on a 9 o'clock docket. That's our final. All right, I appreciate everybody.
Judge, do we have a ruling on the parents in compliance with service plans?
Yeah, I mean, as far as, I mean, if he can pick up where he left off on the parenting class, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
You know, I hope you don't have to start it all over, but that's, you know, their own rules. I mean, and if, you know, that you need to go back, they may say, well, we can't do that. I don't know, but Mr. Heredia does seem to think you can just pick up where you left off. So, you know, I do expect you to complete that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, then, I'll see y'all back in November.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank
Okay,
Your
Your
Honor.
Honor.
this is in the interest of Alexis Olivares. We're here on a review hearing. Ms. Cook, you want to give us an update?
Yes, ma'am. Alexi's doing okay in placement. I know we had talked about at the last hearing, to get her in a less restrictive placement. And all of us have been encouraging her, to keep the good behaviors that she's doing, so we can get her level of care read and hopefully get her somewhere a little less restrictive. She did start school. So far has been enjoying it. She did have a little stomach bug here recently, but she's gotten over that, feeling better. And then I was able to retrieve some of the pictures and her grandmother's ashes from her father, so I will be sending those to her. But she's doing okay. I think she's just a little frustrated where she's placed at, but doing well otherwise.
Probably school will help a little bit.
Hope so.
That probably breaks it up some. Okay, but she's holding up her end of the bargain and trying to help us.
Yes, she is.
Okay. All right, most important. All right, very good. When will we be able to take a look at level of care?
Well, we've just hit the 30-day mark, so hopefully we can get her read. And sadly, her psychological that she had done recently did suggest an intense or specialized level of care. So I'm hoping that with the progress she's made, we can kind of look past that. So
Okay, Mr. Trout, any questions or anything?
No, ma'am, not right now.
Okay, Ms. Zabala.
Your Honor, Ms. Cook really went out of her way to try to work on the placement issue, and I really appreciate that. Alexi does have some things she needs to work on. I think she understands. She was frustrated. I spoke with her about a week ago, and so she still wanted stuff from her dad's house. Sounds like that's being taken care of. She can read and read and read and didn't have access to a bunch of books. We talked about, can you go to the library? And I think just with some of the other kids in the house, it was difficult for them to do that. So I think school will be helpful and she'll have access to that. She'd love some good, coloring books and just regular books. She reads like crazy. But in general, she is doing well. She's frustrated with her level of care, but I really do think she's working on it. And I got my fingers crossed and that school's going to go good for her.
Big question, if they can do it, do we think she'd benefit from having CASA involved?
Wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, I'd love for CASA on all of our cases,
Yeah,
especially our teenagers.
yeah, that's why I'm asking. I mean, and I know it's after final, but we've got a ways to go with her. So, and I think CASA may be able to help with some of those things
Yeah.
that she's wanting. So, okay, Ms. Katie, I guess let's send an email and see if they maybe have got an advocate that they can assign. She's in the Houston area.
she's in the Odessa area.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, well, that's not quite as far, so that's good. Okay. I guess I didn't realize they had an RT down there.
It's new. There are several new placements in the Odessa area, and we've got a number of kids in that area
Okay.
now.
All right, good to hear. Better than it's been, so, okay. Okay then, anything else to report?
Oh, I forgot to say, we're gonna get a connection specialist involved in this, so hopefully we can try with family members again. that we'd reached out to in the past, but maybe we can get some family at least as support, but maybe even placement. So
Okay, and I'm sure CASA will want to be involved in that and do their CFE stuff, so. Okay. Well, hopefully we can get someone assigned to her. So we will let everybody know. Okay then. I'll continue the department as permanent managing conservator. Well, I mean, as the order's not been signed yet.
I believe I've got Ms. Zavala's signature. I think I'm just waiting. I gotta look again. I think I'm waiting on Mr. Ronho's. I may not have Ms. Zavala's yet. I'm not sure. Let's see.
I can go back and send it.
I'll send it back out again today, Your Honor.
Okay. I mean, I've announced, I've rendered, we just don't have a signed order, so what I'm struggling is if I need to go ahead and say we'll continue as TMC. Rachel, our next hearing date, let's see, if we're still, we should be okay, shouldn't we?
Yes, Judge, I think we're on a 90-day track for this one.
Yeah, I think we're set in November again on our.
Yeah,
next-
we're set for an
Yeah.
after final in November.
So if we go ahead and say, all right, we're going to continue the department as temporary managing conservator today. Find continuing danger to return the child home. Continue replacement. And then I'm just going to announce it as our next review hearing, November 20th of 2025 on a 9 o'clock docket. As soon as we get that final order entered, it will become a review after final, but everybody understands where I'm coming from today.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
I'm
okay.
sending it back out right now, Your Honors.
But we probably need to go ahead and enter this order as a TMC order.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. Regardless of what we call it, at that point, we will have another review hearing on November 20th, 9 o'clock docket. So, all right. I appreciate y'all. Thanks. All right. Then I will call Childress County cause number 11692. In the interest of Messiah Anthony Vasquez, we are here today on an initial permanency hearing. Go right ahead.
all right, well, Messiah, we just turned 1. He is doing wonderful, stomach bug here and there, some allergies, but very healthy, very active, very playful, learns very quickly. He's really thriving and doing very, very well. Mom has been staying on top of services. I believe we should almost be done with parenting, more than halfway through our counseling. She did complete an OSAR, and I believe it recommended some outpatient, which there's a couple in the Childress area that she's been looking into. She has got her own housing. It is appropriate for a child to return to when we get to that point. She has been attending all of her visits, and those go really well. Her and Messiah are very bonded with each other. And she's continued to test negative for me, so I'm very proud of her on that. Dads, I do believe Danny was incarcerated. I'm not sure if he still is. And then Mark, I have tried to get a hold of him. I finally got an email address for him. I've sent him all of the paternity genetic testing orders, but he has not shown up to any of them. I have spoken with Danny, and I don't know if this is something that the court can do or not, but Danny is willing to do his genetic testing, and has been keeping in contact as much as he can, even though incarcerated. Neither of the fathers have done services though, and I don't believe that they want to start services until they have had their genetic testing completed.
Let's absolutely, when we he's incarcerated, we've got him as a captive audience. Let's get him tested. And, at least we can, that'll tell us something.
Yes.
So, but Mr. Vasquez has missed a couple of different appointments.
I want to say this last one was his third that he
Oh,
missed.
wow.
And I have offered him transportation if that is an issue, but just never hear back from him.
Well, I guess we'll see if Mr. Barfield can't reach him and let him know what that could mean.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, okay. Okay, anything else?
I do not have anything.
Okay. Child with a relative?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This is with one of the alleged dad's mom, right?
Yes, and we do have a home study on Miss Martinez's mother as well.
Right.
That is pending. So
Okay, I read that and I was gonna ask, what's the status of that?
I believe my supervisor just has to do her part to go through it. There were a couple of things on there that we need to look a little further into. But I wouldn't doubt that it could be approved. So
Okay. So which alleged father's mother?
this is Danny Escobar.
Okay. All right, well, let's for sure get the order rolling on him. I know the AG, I know they've got this thing about doing two at once, but Mr. Croft, we've done some kind of whatever we call them, the special AG orders to be doing two dads at once. If you've not run across one of those, I'll bet Mr. Trout would be happy to send you, or Kim would be happy to send you what we've used before.
Okay.
Just because they generally kind of tell us we can only do one at a time.
Right.
And they're going to still show that we have one out there, but we have jumped over that hurdle before. So
I'll look into that for Your Honor. Thank you.
yeah. All right then, Ms. Kincaid, anything today?
The only thing that I had a question about was that pending home study. So once we get that, we'll know more.
Okay. Okay, Ms. Grant.
Your Honor, Mr. Esquivel, I'm not sure if he has standing at this point without a genetic test that he's requested to ask that he would like the child not moved anymore until genetic testing is complete. But I do understand that he may or may not be a party to the case with that test pending.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of an issue.
Right. So the child, we were unsure whether the child was put into foster after the home study was denied on his mother and alleged paternal grandmother, but I didn't get that information before we logged in today, Judge.
Was the child initially placed with Mr. Vasquez's mother?
No, Mr. Was he with Mr.
I mean,
was the child with Esquivel? Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Esquivel's mother, sorry.
Yeah,
No.
that was the initial placement, and he does continue to be there. And we do agree that since they're in Childress and the maternal grandmother is, I believe, like 4 hours away, that for now we'll keep him in that same placement.
Well, it makes visits and all that easier, certainly. So.
And that
Yeah.
was our train of thought, Judge, but if the department agrees, that resolves my issue with my client technically not having standing to ask that agreement yet.
Yeah. It doesn't sound like we're in any hurry. We've just, it's always good to have a backup placement if we end up needing it.
Okay, well, that resolves the only item we had for today, Judge.
Okay. Okay, then, Mr. Barfield.
Judge, I have
I don't have any witnesses, don't have anything really to report. Again, I'm gonna try to make contact and see if I can and advise my client what it means not to, have contact and stuff like that, Judge.
Okay, and ultimately, whether or not he's established as a dad or what happens in the end, so, okay.
Yeah, exactly, Judge. I mean, we don't, like I say, we don't even know that, but while testimony was being offered, I was asking the office if we'd heard anything this morning from him, and we tried to contact. We have not.
Okay. All right, Ms. Seal.
Thank you, Your Honor. My only concern was about whether they were going to move Messiah prematurely or before we knew, but that's been addressed. I don't have any concerns with his placement at this time. I think he's in good hands.
Okay, and CASA.
We are in agreement. Messiah is doing wonderful in his placement. We visited with him in placement. We visited with him during his visitation time with mom. It's very appropriate. They are very bonded. He loves his mom. That's very obvious. He is thriving in placement. He's meeting all his milestones, and he is a very quick learner. He's all boy. He's crawling on everything. But he is doing wonderful. And we are really, really proud of Desiree for all of her progress and her sobriety. So we think right now he's doing really well. We would like to see him stay in his current placement just for visitation to continue like it is. And that is the family that he knows right now. So, but other than that, he's doing really well.
All right, sounds good. Okay, so today I'm going to order that we continue the department as temporary managing conservator, and we're going to continue child's current placement. I would find a continuing danger to return the child home at this time, but let me just address Ms. Martinez. You're doing really well. Keep up the good work. I'm really pleased with how you're doing. So, just keep doing what you're doing.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to find, of course, mom is in compliance with her service plan, and I'm going to go ahead and order that there not be any change in the child's current placement unless there's an agreement of all parties and or an order from the court. So that should doubly address everybody's concerns, because it sounds like everyone's on the same page. Okay, then I will see you all back for our next review hearing on December 16th of 2025. That'll be on a 9 o'clock docket.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge. I think that's it for me today.
Okay, have a good rest of your day.
Thank you, Judge.
I will call cause number 96552E in the interest of Tequila Ryan. We're here today on a request for reinstatement of parental rights.
Good morning, Ms. Sam. And you're the assigned permanency specialist in the Tequila Ryan matter, is that right?
Yes.
And how long have you been assigned?
I have been the worker since March of 2022.
Okay, so you're familiar with all the facts in this case?
Yes.
Okay, how old is Tequila?
She is 13.
And who is her biological mother?
Dominique Hughes?
Were Ms. Hughes' parental rights terminated, and if so, when?
Yes, they were terminated on February 14th of 2023.
And was that the result of a suit filed by the department?
Yes.
Okay. And are there any appeals pending from that matter?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Has Tequila been adopted?
No.
She's otherwise subject to an adoption placement agreement?
No.
Okay. Why did she originally come into care?
On December 12th of 2016.
Okay, and why did she come into care?
She came into care due to medical neglect. She had another sister and 2 other brothers, and there was neglectful supervision and medical neglect considered an issue at that time.
Okay. And at this point in time, has Ms. Hughes substantially remedied the issues that caused Tequila to come into care?
Yes.
Okay. And when was Tequila placed back into Ms. Hughes' care?
In December of 2024, I believe it was the 17th.
Okay. Since then, has Ms. Hughes displayed concern and action towards Tequela's medical, mental, and behavioral health needs?
Yes.
And has she ensured that Tequila has had regular medication reviews with her doctor?
Yes, when she was on medications.
Okay. So she's no longer on medications?
No.
Okay. And has Ms. Hughes displayed appropriate parenting skills to meet Tequela's needs?
Yes, she has.
Okay. And since being placed back into her mother's care, has Tequela's placement remained stable?
Yes.
Has Ms. Hughes ensured that her routine and emergent mental, behavioral, and physical health needs are being met?
Yes.
Has she ensured that Tequela's criminal case requirements are being taken care of?
Yes.
Has she taken any classes to help her address and manage any of her daughter's issues?
Yeah, she took parenting classes and also got some tips and tricks from the Turn Center where Tequila was placed probably a few months ago, just as respite.
Okay. And has she demonstrated the skills that she learned in those classes and from those tips she was receiving?
Yes.
Okay. Would the reinstatement of Ms. Hughes' parental rights and her appointment as the sole managing conservator for Tequila be in Tequela's best interest at this time?
Yes.
Thank you. Pass the witness.
Okay, Ms. Zavala?
Miss Sim, since placing Tequila back with mom, you've been in the home regularly
Yes.
and you've had good communication with mom.
Yes.
How would you say that Tequila is doing now compared to previous placements?
I would say she's done a complete 180. This is where she has wanted to be, probably since coming into care in 2016. And since being placed with her mom in December, she has less behavioral issues, less mental health issues, less aggressive issues verbally and physically. She's doing incredibly well in this placement.
No further questions.
All right. Mr. Groff, any further questions of this witness?
No, Your Honor, the state rests and closes at this time.
Okay. Ms. Zavala, any witnesses to call today?
No witnesses, Your Honor.
Just a recommendation?
Yes.
Okay.
I wholeheartedly agree with Miss Sim. The difference in Tequila is striking compared to previous placement. I really appreciate St. Francis, the department, CASA, everybody thinking outside of the box on this case because it has worked. And I'm thrilled to see it. And I do recommend that Miss Hughes' parental rights to Tequila be reinstated today and that we be dismissed out if at all possible.
All right. CASA.
Not much further to add, Judge. We are also in agreement with Ms. Zavala and Ms. Sim with the significant changes that we've seen with Tequila. And as Ms. Sim has shared, this is where she has wanted to be. And we are just very happy and thankful that things have worked out and for the progress that Ms. Hughes has made as well. And taking the initiative to do some of those services, especially post-termination. And our recommendation would be for her rights to be reinstated and, if possible, for all parties to be dismissed and her named as managing conservator.
All right, thank you. Okay, many thanks to CASA for their years and years and years of service to this family. Because of course we're only here talking about Tequila, but we've got other children that were part of the family. So it's been a long road. So I'm very pleased that we've gotten to this point. So I do find that 2 years has passed since the termination of Ms. Hughes' parental rights. I find that the child has not been adopted, that the child is 12 years of age or older and has consented to the reinstatement and wants to live with the mother. I find that mother has remediated the reasons for the termination of her parental rights and that she is willing and able to perform her parental rights under Texas Family Code Section 151.001, including maintaining the child's health, safety, and welfare. So at this time, I will order reinstatement of all parental rights formerly held by Ms. Hughes. Name her as, I don't know that we even need to. Father's rights have been terminated. So, Mr. Groff, are y'all gonna do a PMC order to her, or are we just gonna dismiss?
We're happy just dismissing at this point in time. She's the only parent with any rights with this order today, so.
That's where I'm at. So I'm just gonna dismiss the Department of Family and Protective Services from the case, Ms. Zavala as the child's attorney and guardian ad litem and CASA from the case as well. And Ms. Sim, probably would be you, but if you would just communicate to Ms. Hughes how happy I am that Tequila is at home and that the two of them are doing well, and tell her I personally said thank you for working hard on this and being there for Tequila.
I will let her know.
Okay. All right, then I'll sign an order when y'all get it to me, and I won't see you again on this matter.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor. Y'all have a great day.
You too.
All right, attorneys, do y'all need to talk? Or are we ready to go?
Unless Mr. Graff needs to give us any specific details, my client is announcing agreement to work the requested services on the compliance of service requests.
My client is as well, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, well, I guess we'll wait in, and then if questions arise, I can always put y'all in a room if you need it.
I mean, we're not asking for anything that wasn't in the petition, so if the parents are agreeing to what's in the petition, I don't know that we necessarily need to recite that further, but I can if the court prefers.
Counsel, you're comfortable with what's been stated in their petition?
Yes, Your Honor. My client agrees to comply with the issues that were put in the petition and remedy the issues.
Your Honor, my client is in agreement with what's within the petition. I will say that he has some issues with the accompanying affidavit. He does say there's some discrepancies. I don't know if Miss Wilson would corroborate that, but she said there was some misidentification of himself and his son, especially with some of the assaultive issues. That being said, Judge, he's willing to work whatever is needed. We would hope anger management would be more appropriate as opposed to BIP. I believe the domestic violence case was resolved upon figuring out there was a misidentification of Mr. Wilson versus his son.
Yes.
So that's the one thing I would ask for my client, since BIP is such a significant service. I would ask that it be something more in line of anger management as opposed to BIP. Aside from that, Judge, he's ready and willing to go.
And Your Honor,
and Judge, hang on. We haven't called the case. I don't know if.
Oh.
Yeah. All right, let me get it called, and then we'll back up a little bit and we'll put some things on the record, and that way we'll have them. All right, then, cause number 100242E, the Department of Family and Protective Services versus Luciana Wilson and David Wilson Jr. We're here on a request for court-ordered services. We're conducting this hearing through Zoom under a finding of good cause and agreement of the parties. We are live streaming, and Ms. Taylor is making our record. All right, let's go ahead and take announcements.
Morning, Your Honor. Counsel Gene Graff and Lily Rise on behalf of the department. Present, ready to proceed.
Stacey Grant on behalf of the mother, Luciana Wilson, and she's present, Your Honor, and we're ready to proceed.
Jerry Morales on behalf of Father David Wilson. He is present. We are ready.
JC Zavala on behalf of the children.
Okay. All right, just so for the record, parents have obviously appeared. They've both announced that they are willing to work services. Mr. Morales and his client may have an issue with one requested service, which is the BIP. Mr. Morales, if you will go ahead and just recite on the record again what the circumstances are about this domestic violence call out or any pending, charge or anything on that.
From my understanding, Your Honor, on the second page of the affidavit in support, or I guess the third page, I'm sorry, of the affidavit in support of participation of services, towards the end, it says offender is listed as David Wilson. And then it goes on to describe officers observing David pushing someone named Tyja. Apparently the officers were significantly confused on who David and his son were. Obviously they look somewhat similar to his biological son. I guess there was some confusion as to, who was involved, and they assigned his name. I believe that domestic violence charge that may have been referred was refused. That's Mr. Wilson's understanding. But apparently there was some misidentification, and because of that, he said he wasn't involved in the domestic, issue, and he understands that there's some services that need to be worked. But because of the length of BIP and we'd like to get this thing resolved sooner rather than later, and that's why he would rather not participate in BIP, but he will participate just about anything else, Judge.
And Your Honor, the mother, Luciana Wilson, does concur with the identification of the parties in the supporting affidavit being incorrect, and she does concur with the father, David Wilson, that the domestic violence issue is not his, and we would not object to anger management as long as the department doesn't object.
So let me just clarify, because the son that we have in this case is a 5-year-old. Surely they didn't confuse Mr. Wilson, the father, with a 5-year-old. We're talking about a different son?
That's correct, Your Honor. How old is your other son, Mr. Wilson? You're muted too.
Well, if you can hear me, David wasn't even here when the police came. His father had already came and got him, and he wasn't even here. His older son, I believe he's 23, 24. Okay. I don't know which one it was. Both of his sons were here. One of them was 19 and one of them is the older son. So the 5-year-old wasn't even in the home when this went on or occurred at all, period.
Okay, well, that explains. I just wanted to make sure, because I
yes,
thought,
ma'am.
Okay, a little odd that they would mistake a 5-year-old, and I just wanted to
No,
clarify.
it wasn't the 5-year-old. He wasn't even in the home. He was spending the night at his uncle's house.
Okay. All right, so Mr. Groff, are you aware of that change of circumstance?
No, Your Honor, it's just being brought to my attention now. If I could have just a moment to consult with my client and see if they're in agreement or if we need to consult. But I wasn't aware of that until this moment.
Okay, I'll let him visit with his clients, but so Mr. Morales, just a couple other quick questions. So your client has not been arrested on any kind of domestic violence charge?
No, Your Honor.
Oh.
Okay, and at least there's been some indication that's just gonna die on the vine, as far as he's concerned.
Yes, Your Honor. I talked to the detective.
Hang on a second. Let him answer real quick. Go ahead.
That's my understanding, Your Honor, and I would imagine being a potential or alleged victim that Miss Wilson may be able to attest to that more than Mr. Wilson, because typically, the DA wouldn't drop, or even the county attorney wouldn't drop a case without conferring with a victim or a potential victim first.
Yes, I talked to the detective as well.
Hang on, whoa,
Oh,
folks.
sorry.
Just a second. The court reporter can't take more than one person at a time.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So, all right. So, and I think Ms. Wilson has already addressed that and said that that Mr. Wilson Jr. was not present, had already left, and that she has not been the victim of domestic violence by him. Okay. All right, Mr. Groff, let me put you in a breakout room with your folks.
Thank you, Judge.
Uh-huh.
It should just take a minute.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, who all do you want in there?
Ms. Riza, Ms. Larson, Ms. Walker. Thank you,
Okay.
Judge.
We'll give them just a couple minutes and then we'll wrap it up.
Judge, I spoke with my client and they're in agreement with Mr. Morales' request about anger management as opposed to BIP.
Okay, great.
So with that, I think we have an agreement.
Sounds like it. Mr. Morales, then with that change of request, then are you all good with this?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right then. So for the record then, Ms. Wilson and Mr. Wilson Jr. have agreed to work the requested services as outlined in the petition with one modification. Mr. Wilson would participate in an anger management course. The request for BIP would be waived. And so parents have agreed to work these services for us. And I find that would certainly be in the best interest of the children. And that, you know, there's some underlying things going on here, folks, that, you know, we'd like to see you make sure that these things don't happen again, that the kids aren't around this kind of thing, and that, you know, that number one, you all don't need to be around this kind of thing, but to give you some tools and some guidance about how you avoid that and how you keep the kids safe and make sure that they don't end up in a situation that could have the potential to be, you know, a dangerous situation for the children. So, you know, I don't think anybody intentionally tried to put the kids in harm's way, but I will just tell you that these things sometimes spiral out of control, and then before you know it, somebody's gotten seriously injured. So, anyway, I appreciate your cooperation, and we will order those services, and then I'll see you all back on November 18th of 2025. That'll be on a 9 o'clock docket. That's just a check-in hearing to see how things are going and what kind of progress you're making on the services and how the kids are doing. So, for both of you, it's really important that you understand and know who Ms. Zavala is. Okay, she's the lady there in kind of the turquoise blue blazer raising her hand. I don't know, can you all see her?
No, ma'am.
Okay, Stacy, say something because he's on the phone, so you won't show up till you speak.
Hi, Mr. Wilson. I'm Stacy Zavala.
How you doing?
Good.
I'm here too.
Nice to meet you, Ms. Wilson.
So Ms. Zavala represents the children. Kids have their own lawyer in this case. And so she will be making periodic contact with you all and or her assistant, whose name is Kelly. And they'll be contacting because they have a job to come out, see the kids, you know, check everything out. So just understand that she does have the right to do that, and you need to be responsive to their phone calls. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right then. And also she has the right to go, just so you know, she's got the right to go see the kids at school. So if the kids come home from school and say, "Oh, Miss Stacy came to see us today," and you're wondering, well, who is Miss Stacy and why is she seeing my kids at school? Well, that's why. And so it's perfectly permissible for her to do that. And just even go see them there at school. So, okay. I'll see y'all back in November, and I appreciate your cooperation. I wish y'all the very best of luck in this, you know, and hopefully we won't ever be back here again.
Hopefully. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you all so much. You're both free to go.
All right. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks, Your Honor. Thanks, counsel.
Thanks, Jean.
Okay, we will call our 11 o'clock hearing here in just a second.
And I had stepped away. I thought that Mr. Groff had said something about that hearing, but I was down the hall, so I don't know.
I don't know. I may not have heard it either.
Not this coming one, no.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Okay. All right, do you
If I
guys
did, I
need
forgot.
do you guys want a short break before we get going on the next one?
I could use a refill. That'd
Yep.
be great, Judge.
Okay, y'all take just a couple minutes and I'll get everybody in and then but take a short break.
Judge TD back, Becky Amos sent me a phone number and I just called it. It just got a message. My client is not available. So at this moment, I don't expect him to join us.
Okay, we'll wait till everybody gets back in and then we'll talk about where we go from here.
Yeah, or you could, I guess, ask Becky if Becky had any contact with him or was able to tell him about today's meeting with that Zoom number.
Okay, we'll find out when we get everybody back.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and call the case and then I want to take up an issue about Mr. Hammond's client.
Okay.
All right, at this time, I will call Potter County cause number 100249D in the interest of Hazley and Hartley Richardson. This is the Department of Family Protective Services request for court-ordered services from the mother of the children, Timber Hudson, and the father, Ethan Richardson. All right, present today is Mr. Groff for the department. Ms. Zavala is present on behalf of the children in the case. And Mr. Barfield is present along with his client, Timber Hudson, the mother of the children. Mr. Hammons is present. His client, Ethan Richardson, is not present. Mr. Hammons has attempted to make phone contact with him this morning. He did not have a phone number prior to this morning to even attempt to reach Mr. Richardson. I also do not show that Mr. Richardson has been served in this case. Mother has been, but the father has not. So, Mr. Hammons, would it be your request today to reset this until either you can make contact with him or we get him served or both?
Actually, Judge, would Mr. Barfield allow me to ask Miss Hudson a couple questions?
Mr. Barfield would.
So, yeah, Miss Hudson, if you'll unmute for us.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, if you'll raise your right hand for me. You promise to tell the truth today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Hammons, just as far as her testimony at the moment, let's just limit this to maybe locating information regarding your client.
Yes. Miss Hudson, my name is T.D. Hammons. I'm an attorney here in Amarillo. I've been appointed to represent Ethan. Have you seen him lately?
The last time I seen him was this weekend. I tried to take him to a overdose awareness at the park. And that was the last I had seen him. I have not heard or seen from him since then. And I have not been in contact with him since this last Saturday.
Okay, since the girls are the girls in your custody? Where are the girls?
Yes, they are in my custody. Yes, sir.
Okay. Since a couple weeks ago, has he been by to visit the girls or what's that situation?
So he's not allowed at my home. He's trespassed from my home and my work due to being abusive and harassing me. But I have allowed him. I haven't allowed him. He insisted to go pick up my youngest from daycare this last Thursday. It was out of my control. I couldn't do anything about it. And then my mom had met with him after that. Now, prior to that, after that, he had seen the girls this Saturday, but it was under supervised care with me.
Okay, in your conversations with him over the last couple weeks, has he indicated a willingness to work with the department, or what's his attitude?
So as far as I know, he's made it seem like he's willing to work with them, but
okay.
It's hard to tell because he's not here today.
Okay, and is his name on both of the girls' birth certificates as the dad?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's all I have, Judge.
I obviously am gonna wanna know what, Ms. Amos, what contact she may have had as the investigator on the case
Yes.
and the individual that gave you the phone number this morning. So, okay, Ms. Hudson, thank you. Mr. Groff, if you want to call Ms. Amos real quickly and just related to this information, and then we'll
Yes, Your Honor.
we'll make a decision how we're going to proceed.
Ms. Amos.
Yes.
Ms. Amos, you'll raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you'll give today will be the truth?
Yes.
Okay.
Ms. Amos, you're the CPS investigator on the Hudson and Richardson case, is that right?
Yes.
And you signed the affidavit in this case?
Yes, I did.
Specific to Mr. Ethan Richardson, did you have contact with him prior to filing the petition?
Yes, I did.
Okay, when was the last time you had contact with him?
I spoke to him on August 4th. That's when I did my initial interview with him. And he was very cooperative. He said he would like to work some services. He thought he would benefit from counseling and some stuff.
Okay. Did you attempt to reach out to him prior to this hearing today?
I tried to call him just a while ago and it went straight to voicemail, and I sent him a text message.
Okay. All right, thanks, Judge. I'm not sure if that answers all the court's questions or what, if there's additional questioning, but I'll pass the witness.
My question would be, was he sent by text message or by email the link for the hearing today? I mean, was he aware that there was this hearing today?
I did not send it to him, no.
Okay. All right. That kind of answers where I think we need to go from here, Mr. Groff. Mr. Hammons, I feel like we can't establish sufficient knowledge of this hearing today with that he had sufficient knowledge of this. So I think we need to reset it to give you the opportunity to reach him and or the department and possibly even get him served. But Ms. Katie, could we possibly reset this next Tuesday?
Judge, I can let the court know we did request service through Randall County, which is where he's located, and that was sent out on August 19th. But as the court pointed out, there's nothing in the file yet to indicate that service has been affected.
Yeah, I think we just have moms and that's it. So
yes, Judge, we're pretty full in the morning. So if everyone can do the afternoon, we could do it then.
Or if there's a better day, I just tossed that out. Mr. Barfield, let me just ask, is your client on board, or are we going to have a contested hearing?
Well, that's kind of what I wanted to kind of talk about too, after talking to my client. Here's her position. And if I misstate something, then Miss Hudson can correct me. But she certainly is not opposed to necessarily cooperating. I think the problem we have with Mom is she is going to nursing school in the mornings and works a full-time job. And the problem she's having right now, and as a single mom not receiving any child support, she has filed with the Attorney General to try to get that established. So it's not that she doesn't want to work with the department, it's trying to find time to do what the department may want to. If I can get a further clarification of exactly what is being asked of her, I might be able to better ask that question. She certainly does not, she's not one of these individuals that we sometimes see who's dug their heels in and say, I'm just not going to, but she's a single mom trying to pay for nursing school and make a living and take care of her kids who are in daycare right now. And so we need to try to work around that. She can't miss her nursing classes.
Yeah, no.
And she has to make a living wage to support the children. And so from that standpoint, it's kind of one of those situations where if we can find a workaround to have her be able to do what she needs to be doing, then she's more than happy to work with the department. So it's not a situation, was reset to 9, what is, so that's just kind of where we're at from that standpoint. So I think maybe a reset will give maybe Timber a chance to maybe we can figure this thing out. I do think she's very concerned about him having access unsupervised with the children and everything like that, and needs some help with that, quite frankly. And you know, so that's kind of where we're at. And that's one of the reasons she filed, you know, she filed with the Attorney General, trying to not only get financial support, but also to try to get some help conservatorship wise, where, you know, because right now her life's just kind of the Wild West with these kiddos right now without court orders, and everyone here knows that. So that's kind of where I'm at. So reset, I think we have to have, you know, based upon the same thing the courts found as far as notice to him. But I mean, maybe a reset gives us an opportunity to try to figure something out. And she indicated to me, I know I'm being long-winded, but I'm trying to save time ultimately. She indicated to me the reason she didn't agree to work the family-based services was she didn't have a lawyer. She was scared to sign something. She didn't really know what was going on. I mean, perfectly legitimate, you know, legitimate concerns that I think people have. So, and now that she's represented, we're hoping to be able to work through this somehow.
Okay, so that's answered a few of my questions, which we have no, and I was looking as well, but we have no prior court order. So, you know, let me just ask, does the department agree that mom is essentially a non-offending parent in this matter, in that all she really did was drop the kids off to him? Maybe it wasn't the best choice, but we would all agree that he is the father of the children and he has certain rights in the state of Texas. And, you know, granted there are no court orders, but it's not like he's an alleged dad, he's a dad. So other than her choice to leave the children with him, which, you know,
Your Honor, the state would mostly agree with that statement. I think there's some concerns around some codependency issues. That's the reason why they've asked for two services to kind of address those issues. We would agree that she's made a lot of good choices, but the sole reason the department filed is because there are some relationship issues that we feel that the counseling could address. Having said that, we agree with Mr. Barfield that maybe with a little bit more time, we may be able to work that out between the parties and come up with some kind of agreed order that may work for everyone.
so I guess my point is she's got her boat loaded, and I do not want our involvement to jeopardize the good things that she has going on. School,
and we would agree with
work, you know, obviously. And Ms. Hudson, I think all these people would be respectful of that. So, you know, you're essentially out there taking care of business and doing what you need to be doing. Okay. I think we might be of some benefit to help you moving forward with your relationship and how you deal with the father of the children. And you know, some of these attorneys may have some really great suggestions. I know a lot of parents that have difficulty getting along. They use an app that's like a scheduling app, and you know, where they don't really have to talk a whole lot, but they can communicate well. And I mean, there's all kinds of stuff out there nowadays that there didn't used to be. And so I think you know, you may find that we can be of some help moving forward, you know, in how you better communicate with the dad. Now, obviously, he's got a lot of learning to do too. Okay. So I'm not trying to put this all off on you. I definitely want to reset. It looked like Mr. Groff indicated that next Tuesday, were we talking about it's Tuesday afternoon?
Well, I think Ms. Katie was asking for the 9th, and I'm available. I'm already before Your Honor that morning.
Well, I guess it's not October 9th.
Yeah, 9/9, sorry. 9/9 at 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, September 9, yeah, Judge, I've got a status hearing that morning with you, so that ought to work.
Okay.
And that works better for me than the second as well.
Yeah,
I will tell the court, I do know right now, September 8th, I'm gonna be number 1 down in Randall County in Judge Johnson's court, and I anticipate that case going to trial. So let me back up. I could do September 2nd in the afternoon. I mean, if that would work. Because in all likelihood, I'm going to be in jury trial on the 9th.
I'm available in the afternoon on the 2nd.
Judge, on September 2nd, I have a federal rearrangement hearing at 1:30. That would take approximately, well, total time about an hour and 15 to an hour and 30 minutes is how long those things last. But other than that, I'm pretty open. Either I think it's set for 1 o'clock, so you know, but either before or after that. So like 2:30, I
Or
would
3.
probably, or 2 or 3 would probably be safer because that gives me time to get back to the office and everything.
What's that look like to
Yeah.
everybody if we did it at 3?
I could do that.
That'd work.
Okay.
PD Hammons.
Stacy, I know you said
I will be here. I'll be severely jet lagged, but I'll be here.
okay, I'm sorry.
That
No
sounds
worries.
fun.
No worries.
That sounds fun though.
Yeah,
Well,
worth it. Worth it.
we'll do our best to work it out so so the hearing can be brief.
Okay. Yeah, and that gives us a little time. And again, yeah, at 3 p.m. I think we don't want it, you know, because if TD's one of those lawyers, if he says he's going, he's going. So he'll be in trial.
Well, I think it's only
Yeah,
fair to
Judge,
Mr. Richardson to reset. So
Yeah, Judge, Ms. Hudson, do you know much about his employment situation? Has he had a steady job?
So he used to work he used to work at Western Builders for 4 years, and then he had wrecked his truck, and he has not had a job for the past 3 months.
Okay.
Yes, and so he's required through
40
probation to have that, but he hasn't.
At 4602 South Rusk, who else lives there?
Nobody that I'm aware of. I think it's just him, unless he has someone else living there.
And as far as you know, all he has is this cell phone that Becky Amos has as far as a number?
Yes, or an email at ethanrichardson1127@gmail.com.
Okay. Is there a dot between Ethan and Richardson?
No, it's just Ethan Richardson 1127.
Okay. Does he have any other relatives here in town?
Yes, he does. He has a mother, an uncle, and some siblings.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
And TD, if you want, and Timber willing, if she wants to send me that information regarding the relatives' contact information, if that would assist you, and Miss Hudson's willing to do so, I could forward that over to your office.
Yeah, that'd be great. If she has mom's and uncle's phone numbers, that'd be great.
Okay. So Miss Hudson, if you just forward that information to my office via email, then and just with the subject line, please forward to opposing TD Hammons, then we can just forward that information to him, and that may just assist him trying to make contact.
Of course.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, Judge, September 2nd at 3, if that's a good deal.
Yeah, and I'll just ask the department between now and then to talk with Mr. Barfield and look closely at what we're asking Ms. Hudson to do. And let's make sure that it's really tailored to probably co-parenting issues, that kind of thing. And,
Right.
so, I'll see y'all back next Tuesday, 3:00.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Judge. Thank you, counsel.
All right,
Thank
thank
you,
y'all very
Judge.
much.
All
I
right,
appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
everybody,
you.
have a good rest of your day.
You
You too,
too.
Judge.
All right.
Thank you.